What's up, guys? MrBayeasy here, and today we're playing some more Seduce Me 2. Of course, this is the demo here, and last time we chose Eric, mainly because I wasn't sure if these were the different incubi. I mean, now I'm, 100% positive, but, we chose green because those are the channel theme colors, so that's pretty much why we chose that. But either way, today we're going to be choosing Gray, who I'm assuming is James, because that was who we originally chose in Seduce Me 1 for our very first male, I guess, ending. And so it'll be cool to see the natural progression from that game to this game and see what would have happened. Also, there's supposedly some secret endings, or secret ending, or intro, I should say, that is only attainable if you beat these three intros, the other intros, basically. So hopefully we can get that as well, and hopefully I can get to more than just James's intro in this video. We'll see. I don't know how long it's going to go, but either way, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm really pumped to see what happens today. So apparently Gray is Damien. I chose the wrong... I'm assuming yellow is James. Hello?
I wish to set a stone destiny.
Oh my. Oh Jesus, you sound lovely.
Because the fate of the abyssal plains is in the hands of the wrong man. I must set things right.
He sounds delicious.
I come bearing my life force as the price. Take as much as you desire, as long as my request is fulfilled.
Oh. Is this an actual language? I mean, maybe Latin? Probably Latin.
Then, that is the price, as long as you set the stone destiny.
Oh, I don't think he liked that one. It doesn't sound like he liked what she said. We're gonna go with Mika again. I'd almost forgotten it. What? You scrub. You forgot your own name. I clung to it by a single thread, knowing that if I let go, I'd be lost in a dark void never to return. Why? Why was I so worried about my name? Well, it was the only claim I had to reality, especially when I was behind What? Wait. Come on now, hold on. Kind of jumping the gun. For some reason, I was in a cell. I didn't know why. I didn't know how I got in here. All I knew was that I was in it and that I was chained to a wall by shackles on my ankles. I didn't want to accept the bars as real. I didn't want to be in a cell. I didn't want to smell the dank stench of blood and sweat emanating from all around me. That's just great. But I had no choice in the matter. No matter how many times I examined my surroundings, they remained the same. I was in a cell in a dimly lit stone dungeon. The walls were unfriendly and the shackles around my ankles provided no comfort. The rags I was forced to wear barely fit, and I felt filthy. This sounds like a great place, man. I should probably take a vacation. Why was I here? I didn't have the answer. All I knew was that I was trapped. I could hear quiet sobbing and muffled screaming from further down the passageway I was in. They reverberated from down the hall, and I knew that they must have come from fellow prisoners or the condemned. Oh my gosh. I, however, only had one neighbor. In the cell beside me sat a figure wrapped in a dark purple cloak. The top of the figure's head was shrouded by both the shadows in their cell and the hood that covered their face. What the heck? That was like Darth Sidious. Were they dead? I watched them closely for some time, but I never saw their body inhale, exhale, or show any other sign of life. I didn't wish to think on it further, so I turned my head away. What was happening? I opened my mouth to shout, hoping that maybe someone would hear me and give me some sort of clue as to what was going on. As I tried to command my voice to speak, however, the sound of a large door opening echoed through the dungeon. I turned my head towards the direction of the sound and watched as the hall slowly began to brighten, like there was a torch moving towards my cell. I stared wide-eyed at what was approaching. Moving towards my cell was a man I recognized, one that had been close to my heart and now had a look of cold disdain in his eyes. My chest pounded as his name reverberated in my head. James. Okay, first of all, hold the phone. There's a few things that, okay, so he's free and we're in some sort of jail. Are we, okay, based on this game, are we like a sex slave or something? Because that's what I'm thinking right now. Okay, don't judge me. That's what I'm thinking right now. Let's continue. What the? Sliding in. He was still in his human form, but his voice vibrated with demonic echo. This is not what I remember. And waves, sending shivers down my spine. His tone was cold and unfeeling, as if I was not someone he loved, but someone he despised with every ounce of his being.
You still live. I'm surprised.
Yes, quite. In this... What are you doing here? Suddenly from the cell beside me, the cowled figure jumped up and slammed into the bars. She's in jail too? Fellow sex slave? So it seems? Gripping them as they snarled at James, I stared, now able to see who had been hidden by the cloak.
You piece of filth! How can you dare show your face again?
Oh my goodness. She's still naked too. Diana? Oh, he's getting close. James seemed unfazed as he stepped towards Diana's cage and leaned in, almost nose to nose with her.
And you live too. How resilient you both are.
This is some weird shit, man.
We're not so weak as to bring under your chains,
Oh,
traitor.
get down,
After
man.
all, unlike you, I carry pure Lilith blood in my veins. In that human, the one you love, is more powerful than your pathetic mind can fathom.
Oh, get trashed. Literally get scrubbed on. I opened my mouth to speak, but felt something hold back my voice. It was as if a vice had been tightened over my vocal cords and denied them any chance to create sound in my throat. James smirked and gripped Diana's chin, making her snarl louder.
Anyone can be broken. It just takes time and patience, both of which I have in abundance.
Ew, dude.
Fucking monk!
Oh, what happened? Did you just choke her out? James tightened his grip on her chin, digging his fingers into her jaw. Diana could only wince and glare at the one holding her. Are you kidding? Dude, I felt fear run through my body as his lips curved even more into a devilish smirk. How could he look so evil?
Be patient, woman. You'll have your turn soon enough.
Oh my goodness. As James turned his gaze to me, I felt my body suddenly heat up. His eyes were glowing an almost sickly golden yellow as he stared into my soul and ignited my core with heat and desire. Oh my god. maybe my assumption was correct. I felt dizzy and weak, my mouth falling open to allow a silent sigh escape from my lips. What was happening? Apparently he's sliding around. James released Diana and walked to the door of my cell, quickly manipulating the lock to open it. Damn, he's thirsty, dude. As the door opened, I felt myself crawl backwards towards the back of the cell, suddenly afraid of the demon who was approaching. At the same time, I felt uncanny and unnatural elation for the man approaching me with a smirk that tore at my heart.
Well, time to dine.
Time to dine. That is a statement.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Oh, she's Karen. Before I knew it, Diana pressed her body against the bars that divided ourselves and grabbed James's shoulder, digging her nails into it. Dang.
You little...
Oh, shit. Hold on. Did he just cross her off the list? In retaliation, James swung his arm towards Diana and formed a familiar pistol in his hand. Within moments, he aimed and fired. Oh, shit. I could only watch as Diana jumped back and held her chest, blood oozing from between her fingers onto the ground. She stared at James in both pain and surprise before crumpling to the floor and exhaling the last breath she would ever take. Oh no, James, what have you done, dude? Crossing people off. My mind was caught in a frenzy of emotions while I felt shocked, terrified, and mortified at what had happened. My mind continued to dance in the desirable waves that ran through my body. Why couldn't I control myself? The pistol in James's hand disappeared as he let out a sneer of irritation.
Damn it!
James then looked at me, towering over me as I both cowered in fear and melted against the back of the wall of my cell.
Looks like you'll have to give me twice the amount of energy from now on.
Oh, that ain't good, we're human. As James began to step towards me, I felt hot tears run down my cheeks while I panted like a dog in heat. What? I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him not to hurt me. My voice began to press against the vice holding it, wanting to explode out. James's shadow consumed me, and I let out a scream. Then I woke up. What? So we're with James, and we're having these nightmarish dreams that he's some sort of sexual predator. This isn't going well here. Okay, this is obviously some stress within the marriage. Either way, guys, so far this is pretty awesome. I mean, not really, but the whole situation was not awesome, but the introduction is completely different. I mean, totally, another direction. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I shot up in my bed, panting wildly as my heart pounded hard against my ribcage. I gripped my hand over my chest, feeling my pulse beating underneath the skin in a frantic rhythm in time with my hastened breath. I heard the faint echo of my scream bounce through the room as I let reality sink in. It was a dream and I was awake now. Everything was okay. Oh, she screamed in real life? Dang. Everything was...
What?
What the fuck? My heart froze and I felt my body tense up at the sound of James's voice beside me. My heated cheeks reminded me of the tears I had shed in the dream and who had caused them. I shot my head to the side to see James, the man whom I loved, but also the man who terrified me. What? Looking at me with a face painted with concern and worry.
Love, are you okay?
Oh, I thought you said lover. I was like, what? Address me by name, at least. Get away from me? What? I couldn't control myself as I quickly rolled out of bed and pressed myself back against the far wall, staring at him in absolute terror. James only stared back at me, still shocked and now troubled. He didn't move, most likely not wanting to frighten me further. Images of the dream I had began to replay in my head, replacing the James in bed with the James that towered over me in that dark jail cell. My body shook violently from the memory, but soon my logic began to break the images apart, leaving me with the sight of James still in bed staring at me. My thoughts slowly melted and I felt myself start to cry once again. This time, my heart began to ache as I realized whom I had yelled at. I lurched forward and practically jumped at James, who opened his arms wide and wrapped me in them as I landed against his chest. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. This is messed up.
There's nothing to be sorry about. It was only a nightmare. I'm right here.
Should we tell him about the nightmare? James held me close to him as I began to cry into his shoulder. I continued to apologize to him, whimpering and sobbing like a child as the fear from the nightmare slowly began to fade away. James's hand simply ran over my head and hair, trying to calm me down. It had felt so real, and yet I knew that it couldn't have been. James was right here, protecting me and comforting me, proving the love he had for me. He would never hurt me. Ever. Eventually, I was able to calm down, and I looked up at the man holding me as he gently smiled down at me.
Are you alright?
Damn straight. I nodded, earning a small squeeze of his arms around me. I naturally cuddled closer to his body, desiring more of his warmth. Oh, here we go again. What time is it? James gently hugged me tighter to his body as he looked over to his nightstand at his phone. But he's got a watch on his hand, which was docked. Maybe he's naked. Which was docked at a fancy speaker charger.
It's 3:40 a.m.
We still had a few hours before alarms were set to wake us. Crap, why did I have to have a nightmare and wake both of us up? I gripped James's shoulder and looked up at him apologetically. I'm sorry, I know you need your sleep. What does he do again? What is his job? Oh, that's right, the CEO.
Please don't worry about it. My beautiful fiancée is much more important to me than sleep.
That's nice. As he said fiancé, I couldn't help but feel my face heat up, letting a blush run along my cheeks. It was true. I was his fiancé. He had asked me to marry him a couple of months ago, and I had accepted his proposal, wanting to be his wife. Dang. Just thinking about the idea of being with him forever made the imaginary butterflies in my stomach dance around happily and flutter their wings against my heart. Wow, it was a dream come true. His love and warmth assured me that my nightmare was just that. He was my wonderful husband-to-be, and I was going to be his wife. My body couldn't help but shiver in happiness. James caught the shiver and gently ran his hands up and down my arms.
Are you feeling cold?
No, you just make me happy, that's all. As I leaned up and kissed James's cheek, he smiled and kissed mine in return. His warm lips sent another euphoric shiver down my spine, and I felt joy run through my veins. I truly love James. Oh, James. It wasn't long, however, before I felt something gently brush against my hip. Well then, I looked down as James cleared his throat in embarrassment. What could that be? Oh, raising an eyebrow as well as growing a blush on my face, I looked up at my fiancé as he looked away from me, his face almost red as a tomato. Ooh, it was. I think it was.
I'm sorry, I can't exactly control my excitement when you say things like that.
Oh, man. Okay, James, alright. He's in the mood, apparently. Oh, should we? We gotta fucking do it. Like, we have to do it, right? We have to, dude. Nah, kiss him passionately. Oh, geez. James didn't have to use his power to light a fire in me. Oh, here we go. Here it is. The music signals the freaking dastardliness and the savagery that's about to happen. I gently tilted my head and kissed him, capturing his lips with mine lovingly. I felt my body slowly heat up softly and tenderly to make sure not to scare me. His enthrallment, here we go with the enthrallment. His enthrallment over me became a natural part of our lovemaking. It not only helped him gain energy, but it made the pleasure of our sex practically 10 times more powerful. As I moaned against his lips, James gently ran his hands down my back and over my rear. making me slightly jump in surprise at the feel. As he gripped it, I let out another hot moan, and James smiled and chuckled quietly against my lips. I stared at the ceiling, lusting for James, oh my, as he pulled away from the kiss and began to kiss over my neck. I absolutely needed this man, and I needed him, oh my god. Dude, this is picking up quick. So first of all, we were in some sort of sex dungeon, and now we are in, well, we're in a situation, we'll just say that. My body pressed against his and forced him back onto the bed, allowing me to be on top and be in control. James stared up at me, still grabbing onto my ass, again with this, and gently massaging each cheek with his fingers with a smirk. He's loving this right now. He's like, oh, the cheeks. We both knew that he was always in control whenever we made love. However, my rebellious attempts at being top often spurred him on to be that much rougher in our play. It was like a game. Still, I like to think that I tried valiantly and not in vain. I moved my hands back and took his off of me, lacing our fingers together and pinning them to the bed beside his head. They didn't fight back against my hold, but James's face continued to intimidate me with a playful smirk and a dominant gaze. I gently leaned down and captured his lips again, grinding my hips against him and showing him the heat and desire I was feeling for him. My goodness. His hands tightened around mine, and I felt him gently grind back up into me and letting his own desire rub against me. Well, this is just wonderful. Thank you for the description. Oh my goodness. My body forced me to pull my lips away, making me bite my lower lip in pleasure at the grind before suddenly feeling myself being flipped over on the bed with James smirking over me. I didn't care. I wanted him to take me in whatever position we ended up in. Oh my god. Wrapping my legs around his waist, I pulled James close and leaned my head up, brushing my lips against his. What are you waiting for? Take me. Just take me already.
As you wish.
What the fuck? Like he's just, oh, whatever, dude. I'm not even going to contemplate on it, whatever. Within mere moments, we went from grinding each other to moaning each other's names as we made passionate love. Damn, dude, your pants came off quick. Our clothes were thrown about the room, but we didn't give a damn. We were busy. We're getting down to business. Every movement pushed moans and gasps from my lips, building towards a beautiful high as I moved against him and made him feel the same. Our sex wasn't just to feel pleasure, it was our bodies melding and moving together in perfect harmony with each moan professing our love for each other. There wasn't a single moment of silence between us, letting our love echo through the room. As we were finally eclipsed in ecstasy for each other, we held each other tightly, not wanting to let go of one another. James had pulled up our covers over our bodies, and I had made his pillow my chest. Wait, what? Wait. Made his chest my pillow. Okay. I'm struggling right now. I'm so distracted by what's happening right now. I'm just thinking of all this crap. James ran his hands through my hair, his heated and worn out breath matching mine, as we both fell back into the darkness of sleep. Wait, what? It's just over like that? What the fuck? Maybe I guess I missed the climax, I guess. I thought they were building. I didn't realize the climax happened. I must have missed it. The nightmare didn't return. I slept peacefully within James's arms as if nothing else mattered in the world except for me and him. The morning was kind. James and I sweetly awakened before our alarms. Oddly, I felt well rested and ready for the day ahead. As I looked at James, who was still holding me, he opened his eyes slowly and smiled down at me.
Good morning. Did you sleep better?
Did you sleep better after I boned you? I nodded, causing him to chuckle and kiss my forehead. My own lips curled up into a smile as his lips touched my skin. I hugged him tighter, burying my head in his chest. Do we have to get up?
Unfortunately, we do. You have to organize more wedding arrangements, and I have to go to work.
Do you have to?
Yes, I do. Now come on, let's go.
Was she hoping to, have sex with him all day? I couldn't help but whine. I wanted to stay with James in bed just a bit longer. However, since he was the CEO of Anderson Toys Company, he had many obligations to attend to. Not even his future wife could pull him away from those duties. Damn. As James sat up, he took me into his arms and kissed me lovingly, making a smile grow back onto my cheeks. I couldn't be annoyed for long whenever he kissed me. What the heck? Suzu and Naomi must be here. This is like their theme song. We went downstairs and had breakfast together before James went to work. It was always depressing whenever he left me alone in the house. However, he was a CEO and I was currently still in school getting a degree. Luckily for me, all of my courses were online. Oh dang, let's go. So I didn't have to leave the house to get the degree I wanted. Attending classes in pajamas was always better than having to put on regular clothes. That is true. I stretched and yawned, still slightly tired from waking up in the middle of the night. As I thought about that moment, I couldn't stop images of my nightmare flashing through my mind. Quickly, I shook my head. Nope. It was a stupid dream, no. Before that night, I had had wonderful dreams of James and I preparing the wedding and eventually seeing each other at the church. He hadn't seen my dress, despite trying to, so he'd be stunned and I would be blushing and smiling from ear to ear. That one nightmare, however, worried me. What if it was an omen, a sign? I wrapped my arms around myself, feeling a cold wave of nerves rush against my skin. My first instinct was to call Naomi or Suzu just to vent about it and get it out of my system. But if there was something supernatural at work, they wouldn't understand. Closing my eyes, I made a decision. I took my phone out of my pocket and dialed a number onto my phone without looking at it before bringing it to my ear. The other line rang a couple of times before I heard a voice answer it.
Hello?
Why are we calling Sam? What the heck? Are we cheating? Crap, I didn't know Sam was still sleeping. He's Sam, dude. He's freaking lazy. Sam, is Carrie awake? Ooh, is Carrie?
Dude, why are you calling?
Now I'm dude. How the tables have turned.
Sam, you dork. Give me the phone. I know it's her.
The fuck?
Doofus, calm down.
What?
Mine. Haha. Hello?
She just stole that shit. I smiled. Carrie was Sam's wife. Yep, I said wife. They had been married for almost a year, and despite sounding like they were always bickering half the time, they truly loved each other. Sam had met her while investigating a haunted house. She had been there as an architectural consultant, and they clicked as soon as they both left. Oh. What was even more surprising about their relationship, however, was that Carrie knew what he was before he even confessed it to her. That's probably why she was into him. She's like, that demon, she's gonna use the powers on me. Apparently she was a witch. Oh, damn, okay. Never mind, she's a lot more up on the food chain than I thought. A person who had been granted permission to know about magic and otherworldly creatures by the angels, and was gifted with both demon and holy magic. Yo, what? Some sort of boss? Some sort of low-key boss? I only got to know about otherworldly creatures because I was in a relationship with one and was marrying him. Hey, Carrie, are you free right now?
Huh? Well, I kinda just got out of bed, but let me check my schedule, okay? Give me a sec.
Yeah, you do that. We know what you were doing. Don't try to hide it. I heard Carrie climb over Sam at one point, see? Told you, making him swear at her before he groaned in defeat at the situation. After a couple of book flips from the other line, Carrie finally cheered.
I don't have anything scheduled for work today, so I'm all free. What do you need? Wedding advice?
No, not that. Mind coming over? I kind of want to ask you something.
Sure thing. Sam's got work today. It'll just be me. I'll even bring some pizza and stuff so we can have a fun girls' lunch. What do you say?
Sure. Sounds great. The phone call ended and I let out a sigh. This would be good for me. Carrie might be able to clear things up. I decided to clean as I waited. The mansion was huge after all, and it never stopped collecting dust. Soon enough, however, Carrie came by with two pizza boxes in one hand and a large bottle of pop in the other. I couldn't help but feel my stomach gurgle at the delicious smell. She brought deep dish pizza, yum. Oh my gosh. Whoa, okay, dang, what's up with you? We settled into my room and made my bed into our picnic area. That's gross, dude. Especially after we were fucking on this mattress. Let's just be honest, okay? Did we not tell Carrie what we were doing? Because this is kind of gross. We laid out a blanket so we didn't get crumbs on the bed itself. Okay. Well, I guess that makes up for it a little bit, but we liked our makeshift eating spot.
So, what's going on? Are you having premarital trouble?
Carrie tilted her head at me, wondering what was the matter. I began to doubt myself. Should I tell her about the nightmare? Maybe it was really just a bad dream and I was overthinking it. I closed my eyes, thinking about what to say. Eventually, I finally spoke up. Okay, here we go. Wait, what? I'm second guessing getting a degree. What are we just straight lying to her? Let's talk about the nightmare. I don't see the point in lying.
A nightmare. Was it really bad?
Oh, it was pretty shit, to be honest with you. I nodded, remembering how terrified or horrified I was in the nightmare and visibly shivering at the memory. Carrie frowned and poured me a glass of pop.
Maybe I should have brought alcohol.
It's the morning. Jeez, chill out. Oh, no, it wasn't that terrible, I swear. I rubbed the back of my neck. I had to relax. It was a nightmare, nothing real. I should have been able to talk about it. I sighed and looked up at Carrie. It was about James. I mean, really, why not just tell her, you know? I don't see the point in not telling her, to be honest. I mean, we trust this girl, right? We're kind of friends. We're friends, I'm assuming. Was holding me in a cell. Carrie stared wide-eyed at me, unsure of what to say. I continued. He looked cold and evil. Diana was there, too.
Diana? The succubus that tried to take the boys away?
Damn straight. Yeah, she was in the cell next to me, but for some reason it seemed like she was trying to protect me.
Protect you? How?
By getting popped in the mouth. My mind instantly replayed the nightmare, flashing to when Diana gripped James's shoulder and tried to pull him away from me. I couldn't help my body from wincing at the memory of her being shot by his gun. He came into my cell, he enthralled me, and Diana shouted at him to leave me alone. Then Carrie reached over and placed her hand on my shoulder, making me lower my head. It was strange to think about, Diana protecting me. Yet I could feel the anger in her voice when James tried to approach me. She truly sounded like she had wanted to protect me. He shot her with his demon gun, and when she died, he came after me.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
What the fuck? You sound like it's like real. It may not have been real, but my body couldn't help but quake in fear when recalling the nightmare. I shook my head and looked at Carrie, needing to know what was going on. Do you think this is an omen? This nightmare can't just be a dream. Carrie ran her hands through her hair and stared at the blanket beneath us. She bit her lower lip as she contemplated, which made me worried.
You said a jail cell?
Yeah. It was, in a stone dungeon.
Like in a medieval castle?
What? Why are you guessing so accurately? Yeah. Carrie shook her head again and ran her hands through her hair once more before looking up at me.
I don't know if this is connected with that dream, but I've heard rumors about the Abyssal Plains being in utter chaos.
What do you mean?
I don't know what's happening exactly, but for the past 2 years, the demon world has been emitting some really bad energy. Even the angels are taking note of what's happening. They're even neglecting their duties to go to the demon world themselves.
What? That sounds dangerous. That threw me off. According to Carrie, angels were extremely devoted to watching over the human world. They would never skim duties to even think about the demon world. Carrie shook her head.
The only place I can imagine jail cells like that being used for prisoners is in the Abyssal Plains. But you and James are here in the human world, so it makes no sense.
Carrie abruptly moved from the bed and reached for her purse, digging through it and practically sticking her entire arm into it. What? It's a magic purse? I swore she was Mary Poppins the day I saw her do that the first time. That's actually really awesome, dude. That's actually really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, it was a demon-branded bag called the Endless Satchel. What the frick? Only found in the demon black market of the human world. It wasn't just a bag on the inside, it was a void. You could stuff anything in there and be able to pull it back out with ease as long as you pictured it in your mind. No way, dude. What if you couldn't picture it? You're kind of screwed. Carrie pulled out something wrapped in dark green silk. As she unfolded the cloth, she revealed a deck of cards. On the back of each card was a black pentagram with small, almost unreadable markings around it. On the faces, however, were different hand-painted images that helped me recognize it as a tarot deck. They were worn, but they still emitted a power that made a shiver run down my spine.
It's been a while since I've used this, but it might be able to shed some light on the situation.
The cards practically danced and glided between her fingers as if they were alive when she shuffled them in her hands. Eventually, she stopped and the deck settled together in her grip. Whoa. She gently drew 3 cards from the top of the deck, setting them face down in front of her, and placed the remainder of the deck on the nightstand. Now, because she's a witch, this is probably like straight up the real deal. Like, this is probably your future, so pay attention. Whoa, Wheel of Fortune. She flipped one over, revealing a wheel with multiple symbols on it. As I stared at the card, the wheel seemed to spin on the face of the card, making me slightly dizzy. What? Carrie mumbled to herself as she examined the card.
The Wheel of Fortune. Could this be about the demon world changing? No, it can't just be that. Someone changed something in the past and disturbed the fate of the Abyssal Plains.
Could that have been us? Like, the fact that we didn't let the guys go back? I looked at the card, taking note of what Carrie said aloud. There were many things that I knew that I had personally changed. I wasn't destined to get the Anderson Toys Company. I met the boys and learned about magic, and I was going through a big change in my life with my upcoming marriage. What's this one? Carrie moved her hand and flipped over another card, revealing a figure with a sword in one hand and a scale on the other. Staring at the card, I swore I heard angry whispers in the air around me.
Justice?
What?
What could this be about? Could the change in the past be something so big that it demands justice's attention?
Are you kidding me? Are we about to get smited or some shit? Because like that's literally what's happening in the demon world. It's pretty much our fault. I mean, let's be honest, because we didn't let the dude go back and marry Diana. This is what's happening. Jeez. My mind began to replay every choice I made in my life and fast forward. My decision to let the boys stay, to defend the boys against Malex, to stand up to Diana. Everything rolled past my thoughts. Was one of those decisions one I shouldn't have made? Oh god, what is this next one? Oh no, the music stopped. It's probably something so dastardly, dudes. I didn't get to think on it long as Carrie flipped over the third card. As it was revealed, both Carrie and I gasped. Yo, is it death straight up?
The King of Swords?
Never mind.
But that card is not supposed to look like that.
What does it look like? That ain't good. A king figure sat on a throne with a large sword in his hand as if he was ready to attack the viewer. However, the card looked like a black and gold demon I recognized. Oh no. Does James, like, get brainwashed by the king or something? Hope not, dude. James? Is that you, James? Looking at the card. Is that you? The picture, despite being simple, was powerful enough to make a shudder run through my body at the sight. Damn, he's known as the King of Swords. That's pretty badass, to be honest. As we stared, however, the nightstand that held the remaining cards began to quake, forcing me and Carrie to look over in surprise.
What the?
Whoa. Whoa! The tarot cards on their own burst upwards and began to fly through the air frantically. The sounds of battle and war emanated from them and raged through the room, and Carrie quickly moved to shield my body with hers as she covered her ears. I covered mine as well, but that didn't stop the sounds of blood and clashing swords from digging into my senses. I could almost feel the heat and danger of the image of war that the sounds were painting against my skin. As the sound stopped, I looked up to see the cards float down onto us, now lifeless and all of them torn in half. Oh, great. The freaking ancient deck of cards just down the drain, right down the middle. As they landed, however, I stared in shock at what I saw in each half of the card's face. Carrie looked up and gasped as well.
Impossible.
What the fuck? Wait, I'm sorry, wait. It's me. I think that's me. And then James, and we're crying big time. I like the crying animation. It's like the big eye with a big, like, teardrop, and it's like a heart in half. So apparently our relationship is fucked. Is that our prediction? On half of the cards I saw a girl that had my hairstyle with a stream of tears running down her face, reaching out towards the torn edge. On the other, I saw a weeping boy with James's demon horns and a crown on his head. He was reaching back toward the tear that divided him from the other half of the card where the girl was. Oh, this is sad, dude. My heart practically stopped. Was this really happening? I couldn't believe my own eyes as I stared at the cards in front of me. My nightmare began to flash before my eyes, causing me to grip onto myself and shiver violently from the fear bubbling in my core. Carrie quickly grabbed hold of me and hugged me to her.
Hey, shh. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes the cards are wrong. This can't be right.
Okay, I would probably believe that if it was a normal reading, but we just saw some shit flying around the room. This is legit, okay? This is pretty legit. How could I believe her? I was staring at multiple torn cards showing me the exact same message. I gripped to Carrie, feeling extreme fear and sadness run through my body.
Hey, look at me.
I'm looking. I looked up at Carrie. She gave me a small smile as she squeezed me gently in her hug.
Magic is fickle, okay? The cards aren't always correct. Fate can always be changed. Remember that.
Sweet. I knew she was trying to make me feel better. I knew that there was something going on. However, as the thought of my marriage came up, I knew that I'd have to calm down eventually. They were cards and my marriage was still happening, regardless of what they said. I closed my eyes and slowly started to ignore the signs, the cards, and the nightmare in my head. This wouldn't help me and I had to prepare for my wedding. Carrie muttered an incantation under her breath, and when I opened my eyes, the cards had all disappeared. I hugged Carrie tighter, silently thanking her for removing them. I had to be stronger. I had to. As the day went on, I enlisted Carrie to help with the wedding arrangements. Surprisingly, we got a majority of the work needed done, so that gave us time to relax and watch a movie together before James returned from work. Oh, what was the movie? Wanting to leave us alone, Carrie left us as soon as he came.
Hey, did everything go all right? I'm assuming Carrie helped.
Oh yeah, she helped. Yeah, she did. For some reason, I felt the need to hug him. I just needed to. Without warning, I walked over and wrapped my arms around James, laying my head against his chest.
Huh? Love?
Dude, what is up with these weird, just oddly placed laughs? It's really awkward, man. As James wrapped his arms around me and kissed the top of my head, I smiled. He would be with me and I would be okay.
I love you.
Fantastic. I love you too. My heart felt at ease. Everything would be fine. Everything would be okay. James looked down at me, pulling away slightly to see my face with a smile.
So, what would you like for dinner? We can go out to eat, or we can stay at home and I can make something.
Ooh, can we choose? I held James's hand in mine, knowing that I wanted to just stay home with him. We had more than enough for the wedding, yes, but our time together was better spent alone, together rather than at a restaurant. How about we order food instead? You just came back from work, might as well relax. James chuckled softly before kissing my cheek, making me giggle softly.
As my wonderful bride wishes.
What the? Oh. We ordered takeout and sat together in our room, once again making the bed a picnic area. We love to just eat on this bed. This bed must be filthy, dude. We have sex on the bed. We eat on the bed. I mean, we probably do everything on this bed. We played a movie in the background, but our focus was on each other. He made himself comfy. Netflix and chill. I had to say it. This is Netflix and chill. He made himself comfy without a shirt, and I made myself comfy with my head against his shoulder.
So, is everything all right? I made sure the reception hall was taken care of on my way back, so that should be in order.
Awesome. Oh, wow, good, thank you. Yeah, everything's in order. We'll have a perfect wedding.
Was there anything you wanted to add to the wedding? It's not too late to include anything you like if you really want it.
No, I don't think so. I think everything we have is good. James nodded before continuing to eat. I, however, stopped and stared at James. It must be really awkward. He's like still chewing, she's just looking at him. I was really going to get married to him. It was strange to imagine that I was really about to swear my life to someone for all time. It was like a dream come true. Why would I ever let something stupid like a nightmare shake me from it? Well, I mean, the nightmare was one thing, but the supernatural, magical deck of cards is another, man. Screw the nightmare. I was going to live a dream. I gently moved my food to the nightstand and placed a hand under James's plate, making him stop to look at me. I softly pulled it away from him, placing his food next to mine before crawling over James and sitting over his lap. Dude, the dude was eating, man. That is so messed up. I mean, maybe he's gonna like this better. Depends on what happens next. What the fuck? Promise me something.
Huh? Anything.
Promise to stay with me forever? It seemed like a simple and obvious promise, but I wanted to hear him profess it. James continued to look up at me, silently understanding my need to hear it, and wrapped his arms around my body. I kind of like the artwork here. I don't know why. It looks cool. It's like a legit anime. You know what I mean? It's pretty awesome.
I promise to stay with you forever.
Until the end of time? Damn.
Until the end of time.
You can't break your promise to me, ever.
I would never dream of it.
Well, that's good. James moved a hand up and tenderly caressed my cheek, making me nuzzle into his hand and close my eyes.
You're the one I want to spend my entire life with. I will give everything and more to you for as long as I possibly can as your husband.
I felt tears slowly run down my cheeks, which were soon brushed away by James's thumb. I nuzzled further into James's hand and held his wrist, almost hugging his arm to my chest.
Is the nightmare you had last night bothering you?
I couldn't help but nod in reply, frowning and biting my lower lip. I didn't want it to bother me. It wasn't worth it. I knew that James would stay with me and would never hurt me. James gently wrapped his free arm across my back and pulled me against his chest, moving his head to nuzzle my other cheek comfortingly.
Do you want to tell me what happened, or will you be okay?
I moved to wrap my arms around James. I wasn't sure if I wanted to tell him at all. I mean, sure, why not, man? Let's be honest. We gotta be honest with him. We're about to get married to the dude. You gotta be honest. I gently pulled away from him to look into his eyes. I had to tell him. It was about him, after all. I was in a dungeon. I was there with Diana.
Diana? Did she try to hurt you?
Not exactly. No, actually, she was trying to protect me.
From who?
Get ready for the bombshell, kid. You. James stared. Damn, the music just fucking stopped. Oh, never mind. James stared surprised at me, but remained silent as I continued. You came in and enthralled me, but it wasn't like you usually do it. It was forceful and I didn't want it, but I was under your control. Diana tried to stop you, but you shot her. Then you came after me. For some reason, a weight lifted from my shoulders. It was a terrible dream, but James deserved to know. As I finished recounting the nightmare, James gently moved his hand up and cupped my face in them.
Thank you for telling me, and I'm sorry that you experienced that kind of nightmare. But I swear to you that I will never hurt you.
I let myself become lost in his amber eyes, believing every single word he said. I could feel the love and care in his voice, and his warm hands assured me that he would protect me from harm. I wrapped my arms once again around James and let my head rest on his shoulder as his arms encircled my form. I loved him. He loved me. We would protect and love each other forever. Whoa, what the heck? Soon enough, the wedding day had come. Here it goes. Maybe this is the same. I had received many pre-wedding gifts from guests that couldn't come, but I knew many people would still be at the wedding, since James was the Anderson Toy Company CEO. What? Why are they just invited? I mean, I guess that's a little awkward for me. I wouldn't invite all my business partners. I even got fun texts from Naomi, Suzu, and Carrie as they tried to tease me with pictures of James in his wedding tux, but I deleted them all without peeking. I didn't want to see him yet. He didn't get to see my wedding dress, so I wanted to wait to see him in his tux. Alas, I had decided to dress alone at the mansion. The girls had offered to help, but I needed the time to myself. I had to reflect on the day ahead. I was about to be married. It was insane. I couldn't stop staring at myself in the mirror, dressed in the wedding dress of my dreams. Is this really happening? I knew the air wouldn't answer me, but I felt myself need to speak my thoughts aloud. I could hardly believe that I was about to walk out of the house and be someone's wife, James's wife. The thought of us together made me smile and close my eyes.
Talking to you.
Gross! A voice I didn't know sent shivers up and down my spine. I suddenly looked around, hearing the voice echo in the room. Oh. Gross. What was going on? Why was I hearing voices? She's crazy, man. This couldn't be happening. She was talking to herself, and now she's hearing voices. This is borderline crazy right here. I held my head, trying to stop the sounds in case I was dreaming or imagining them. Did he just call her fat? Stop, don't call me fat. I screamed at oh! What happened? I screamed at the voices, not knowing what they were saying, but wanting them to go away. What I didn't realize was that my screams let out some sort of spell that seemed to freeze the air around me. Everything was still and silent. I could feel, however, that the room around me was frozen in time. Was that one of the angels talking? Because I'm pretty sure I remember in the very first Seduce Me, the angels were talking, and they sounded a lot like that.
I knew it! That girl has demon magic.
He's just peeping at us, man. We're getting dressed, and this dude is being a peeping Tom. This is gross. What the?
Then quit talking and let's take her!
See? Quit looking at her boobs and just take her already.
The demon lord will be so pleased.
You guys are gross. Who? Before I could turn to search for the voices, I felt hands grab a hold of my feet, and I looked down and lifted my dress. They're always coming from down below, man. This is messed up. Two pairs of evil-looking hands had taken hold of my ankles, reaching through a dark red and purple pentagram. I shrieked, trying to pull my legs away, but couldn't stop them as they swiftly pulled me into the ground. I was pulled deeper into the darkness. I was no longer in my room. I was being dragged through a dark void, one that I couldn't escape. I reached out and clawed at the dark, trying to find something to grab onto. I tried to pull my legs away from the hands that were holding them, but couldn't pull free. What was going on? Why was this happening? Someone help me. I was just so unenthusiastic. Someone help me. As if someone had heard my screams, I suddenly felt the hands let go and disappear, leaving me to float in the darkness they left me in. I shut my eyes. Please let this be a dream. Please let this be a dream. I finally felt the surface under my feet, and I collapsed onto it. My body curled in on itself from the experience I had. I didn't dare tear my eyes away from my lap, not ready to get up just yet. The voice I heard, however, made my heart stop.
You. What are you doing here?
So what we're going to do from here on out, every time it gets to this point, we're going to jump back to the beginning and do a new intro. So I do realize it kind of messes up the flow a little bit, but in actuality, it's literally the exact same thing we saw in the previous playthrough, the initial playthrough of the Seduce Me 2 demo. So just let me know if you're okay with that, if you're okay with me just stopping basically before it hits the part that's like basically the end of the demo. And I do hope you enjoyed that one. This was pretty interesting to see, honestly, because, you know, the natural progression from the first game to the second game, that really caught me off guard. So it's going to be, it's crazy to see like what could happen. I can't wait. James is definitely going to be the first one I do in the final release of the game. So it's going to be crazy. I can already tell just by looking at it. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Make sure you rate the video what you think it deserved. And if you did enjoy, consider sharing the video as well. If you want to become a sage in training, make sure you subscribe today. And as always, this has been MrBayeasy, your favorite sage, and I'll see you in the next video.